In this video, we're going over how to replace the version 1 encoders with the new updated version 2. You will receive a kit that looks like this. It includes the encoder sensor, mount, and hardware, as well as spacers, bolts to mount the assembly to the pump, and the geared encoder disc. The first step is to assemble the encoder itself. To do that, you will need to feed the wire through this hole, and note that the flat side of the encoder reader goes up towards the curved part so that when it mounts, the notch is facing up. Note that this is correct. This is an incorrect mount. See the notch at the inner side? This is what the final assembly should look like. Note that the sensor is flush here. After you've removed the wheel, remove the old V1 encoder setup. Remove the encoder disc, remove the cable and disconnect from the housing, and then disassemble and remove the V1 encoder and sensor. Next, it's time to put the V2 encoder on. Reinstall the lower mounting nut on the pump. Also, install a washer and the metal standoffs to the other two mounting bolts. Tighten all three of these to 60 foot-pounds of torque. Place the geared encoder disc onto the wheel studs. Make sure the teeth are on the inside, closest to the pump, and the flat surface facing outward. Align the sensor head so that it is 0.05 inches, or 50 thousandths of an inch, away from the encoder teeth. Use a feeler gauge to appropriately gap the sensor. To move and align, loosen and tighten the two bolts attaching the encoder reader to the sensor mount. Feed the cable through the chassis. Secure the cable to the hydraulic line using a zip tie, and remember to reconnect the sensor to the harness. Make sure to avoid the brake spring and other moving parts when you reinstall the cable. Once done, please call or text Greenzie support to make a quick software change to support the new V2 encoders and ensure that they've been installed correctly.